Whereas November 11th is the anniversary of the armistice signed by the Allies and the Germans in 1918, which ended World War I after 4 years of conflict. And whereas President Woodrow Wilson issued the first Armistice Day proclamation in November of 1919 and set the tone for future observations by observing that, to us in America, the reflections of Armistice Day will be filled with the solemn pride and the heroism of those who died in our country's service and with gratitude for the victory, both because of the thing from which it has freed us, because of the opportunity it has given America to show her sympathy with peace and justice in the councils of the nation, and whereas the name was changed from Armistice Day to Veterans Day by an act of Congress in 1954, when then-President Eisenhower called on citizens to observe the day in honor of all who have served in America's wars through the years, and whereas more than 135,000 veterans of the nation's military reside in Idaho, and almost 5,000 of them live in our area, whereas the Veterans Assistance Program at the University of Idaho is committed to helping student veterans and their dependents succeed, and whereas our nation is indebted to the servicemen and women who have made great sacrifices, endured long absences from loved ones, and suffered injury or death to protect our homes and families, and whereas Idaho National Guard 126th Engineers in Moscow were organized and federally recognized on April 26, 1929 as Troop K, 116th Cavalry, and an element of the 24th Cavalry Division, and whereas then converted and redesignated Battery F, 148th Field Artillery, Moscow was first inducted into federal service September 16, 1940, and inactivated December 31, 1945 in Japan, and whereas through many destinations and period of active federal service with campaign credit in World War II, and most recently as part of the 116th Engineer Battalion mobilized to support Operation Iraqi Freedom, the 126th Engineers have served their community and country, and whereas Veteran Day is an opportunity to honor our nation's veterans and the 126th Engineers for their sacrifices, now therefore I, Bill Lambert, Mayor of the City of Moscow, do hereby proclaim November 11th, 2014 as Veterans Day in the City of Moscow, and I urge all citizens to reflect upon the sacrifices made by America's military personnel to preserve and promote enduring peace around the world. With that, we've got a special guest with us tonight, Sergeant First Class Chad Crosby from the 126 Engineers. I'm going to be giving a proclamation to. As well, we should have had Don Meyer from the VFW. I do not see Don here, but Sergeant Crosby, if you'll come up here, please. Here is
appreciate it, sir.
Yeah, very welcome. If you'll turn around, we'll get a picture with you.
Kodak time.
Sergeant Crosby, would you like to say a few words?
I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce myself. Like I said, Sergeant First Class Chad Crosby. I don't think they mentioned it in there, but when we deployed to Iraq, we were Bravo Company 116th. That might ring more of a bell to you guys.
Sergeant, could I be speaking to the microphone?
So when we deployed to Iraq, we were Bravo Company 116th Engineers, and we were combat engineers at that time. And since then, 2006, we redesignated to the 126 Engineers and are now horizontal construction. If you guys come by the armory, you see all the scrapers and dozers and all that good dirt work stuff. So I just noticed I wasn't right in there, so I wanted to bring it up. And facility manager here at the Moscow Armory and the operations NCO. So if there's any issues with us or you need our assistance in any of your projects due to lack of funding and all that, it can be requested through the channels, and maybe something we can work with together in the future.
Thank you, Sergeant Crosby.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome.
All right.
Okay, with that, I'll move